Welcome to Australia's Bicentennial National Trail. Also known as the BNT or National Trail, it is a 5,330 kilometre marked route along the eastern coast of Australia. The trail winds its way along the ever-changing face of the Great Dividing Range, linking Queensland, New South Wales, the Australian Capital Territory and Victoria. For horse and donkey riders, cyclists and walkers, it links together some of our finest natural scenery, gives access to wild and remote country, from the lush tropical rainforests of far north Queensland, across the sun-scorched plains of the outback, to the welcoming cool of a hidden oasis, through stands of dry eucalypt forest, along ancient river valleys far, far away from civilization, to where they cascade off the face of the escarpment, towering subtemperate forests that drip with moisture, or swirl in a soft carpet of snow. Forging upwards through rugged mountain ranges, to the mighty high plains of the Australian Alps. One of the highlights of travelling the National Trail is the people you meet. The BNT brings you into contact with volunteers who have supported the trail from its infancy. Rugged and colourful characters who have lived their entire lives in the bush. People who welcome travellers and love to hear their stories. Cattlemen and drovers with a talent for spinning a yarn. Descendants of the pioneers who took up land and forged the early sheep and cattle runs in the 1800s. The National Trail uses a variety of existing tracks. Ancient Aboriginal walking paths, pack horse and coach roads forged by our European pioneers, fire trails and quiet country roads. From Cooktown in the north to Donnelly's Weir near Healesville in the south. The BNT meanders through national parks and state forest, visits tree reserves and historic sites, comes within cooee of remote small towns and regional centres, and runs straight through the heart of Canberra, the nation's capital. The National Trail had its beginnings in the 1970s. It grew from an idea discussed around a campfire by horse riders. They were concerned at the growing loss of public access across the country. Hopping astride a horse and riding off through the bush for a few weeks was becoming a fading dream. The late R.M. Williams, a bushman and outfitting entrepreneur, embraced the idea. He formed a company to work towards obtaining funding for the project. Dan Seymour was employed to find a possible route from Cooktown, Queensland to Melbourne, Victoria. Dan set off from Gatton University, Queensland, and went to Melbourne. Meeting with local riders and bushmen, he was able to suggest a continuous trail. In 1978, a mail relay ride tried out the proposed route. These mail bags were carried by horse from Cooktown to Healesville. It took a further 10 years and a grant from the Bicentennial Commission to establish the route, plus countless volunteer hours and pioneering work by Mike Allen and Brian Taylor. In 1988, the Bicentennial National Trail was officially opened. Since that time, the trail has been managed as a limited liability company. The company is governed by an elected board of 7 directors, assisted by a volunteer office manager. The trail is maintained and improved by hundreds of volunteers. The length of the trail is covered by 12 guidebooks available from the BNT office. There is one map for each day's travel, showing water points and campsites. Each map is accompanied by written directions, local information and contact details. A series of mini guidebooks entitled Weekenders on the BNT are also available. They cater for first-time users and those who only have time for a short trek. Weekenders are often circuits where 1 or 2 day treks can be easily achieved. Most of the National Trail traverses public land such as national parks and state forests. To maintain an unbroken trail with minimal use of main roads, some sections cross private land. The BNT does not own any of the trail, so it is the generosity of many private landholders that have made it a reality. To maintain access for future trail users, members must follow any requirements given in the guidebooks. The National Trail is for non-motorised transport, but it is possible to drive a backup vehicle into some campsites. Trekkers will embrace the pioneer concept of self-reliance. Doctoring a mate, giving it a go, taking care of an animal, fixing a bike alone with limited tools, then the ecstasy when you have persevered and got it right. Some sections of the trail are suitable for horse-drawn vehicles. Others are rugged and remote, requiring a high degree of self-sufficiency. Campsites vary from comfortable country pubs to grassy flats by the river with no facilities. Expect to share your campsites with wildlife. Keep your food supply out of reach from nocturnal invaders, and watch out for those that will steal the food from your plate. Trekkers must be aware of impending weather and local conditions. Drought, bushfire and floods can all be a part of your BNT experience. Local volunteer section coordinators give up-to-date information on trail conditions. Due to regulations in national parks and private property, dogs and cats are prohibited on the National Trail. Joining the BNT provides us all with a place to make a dream of long-distance trekking a reality. Membership provides discounts on guidebooks and merchandise, as well as invitations to BNT events. Introductions to valuable contacts and experienced trekkers will aid journey preparation. The National Trail has something for everyone and may even change your life's direction. The trail will test your navigation skills, allow you to experience nature in her different moods, bring you face to face with native wildlife in their true environment, and deepen the bond with your travelling partner. Share the challenge with travelling companions. Push yourself to higher limits. Discover the hidden beauty of a harsh landscape. And write another chapter in the book of your life.